I was gonna set the Red Dragon camera up, and so you have the nicer blur video. I'm beat, guys, and I wanted to give you guys an update. I know if you saw the videos yesterday, there weren't any. There were no videos. So I published a video talking about going out to see a whistleblower, somebody that worked at CARB that actually had numbers and had evidence that said that there was like misappropriation of funds and things of that nature. Well, we're going to talk about that today because my trip wasn't for zero. It actually bore some good fruit. So welcome on back to TK's Garage. So yes, I went out. If you didn't know, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook at TK's Garage Vids on Facebook, TK's Garage on Instagram, you probably saw that I was all over California and doing things in California. Well, newsflash, it was absolutely insane. People will give you like a little bit of information, and I deal with this when I talk about stuff with like Stellantis or leaking a car or leaking a feature or an engine from an auto manufacturer. That's nothing when it comes to this. This is like stuff like this that could come out could like potentially destroy somebody's political career, could potentially like shut an agency down type stuff, right? That's why I took it seriously. So when I got contacted, I was sent enough information, and after I had somebody here look at it, they were like, it's somebody that was actually running for office federally here, a veteran as well. And they looked at it and they were like, yeah, this could be legit. Like, this could be huge news. You should probably follow it up. So I reached out. We made the trip. And like I said, it bore some fruit. There was a ton of information to go over. And after sitting at this place that we were at, sitting down having drinks and food, and just reading over some of this stuff, I was like, can't be this stupid, right? I know these people at the California Air Resource Board that were giving out grants can't be this dumb that you're giving it to like a cousin's, fund that supposedly replacing diesel engines, but they never get replaced, right? Or a girlfriend's company that's supposed to report offending vehicles like deleted diesel trucks or whatever, but has never to this date ever reported. Like, it's just stuff that you would read where you were like, damn. It was very similar to like what Doge was finding in the federal government with like, oh, transgender play in Colombia or whatever the hell it was that they were funding millions of dollars for. All right. It was that kind of stuff. All right. And to see, it explains a lot. All right. So the California Air Resource Board went from giving out 2.6 billion with a B as in Bravo, $1 billion in grants to now in the last, 24, 25 section, only giving out or being appropriated 35 million and not even crossing 3 million at this point. It's like the money just magically disappeared. Billions of dollars. Now, there was some stuff in there that was legitimate. Like I saw schools that had engines or school bus engines replaced with better emission standard engines, I guess. There was some of that stuff there, right? I got to see a lot of stuff. But some of the stuff I saw, like when, because the person that's going to try to be a whistleblower that's presenting it is literally like, yo, check this out here. This person is related to this person. And then you go to Facebook and look and you find out, yeah, that this person at the California Area Resource Board is related to this person. And what? It literally looked like, it looked shady. I'll put it like that. And after spending the amount of time going over it, I felt like, yeah, we could do videos on it and expose it. And there's some of that we're going to do. But I felt like the right thing to do at that point was to turn it over to an authority that would prosecute the matter, right? Like if there's actual fraud or misappropriation of funds, especially where some of that is federally, we could look at a federal case. Now, we already know that the district attorney's office there in the Middle District of California or Central District of California is already looking at billions of dollars that are missing from the homeless fund, right? And we know that they're looking at high-speed rail and the like. And I also had this person get in contact the same, after we made sure that the information and statement and saying, hey, look, we want to get this guy whistleblower protection, all of that stuff, and provided information to the federal government in terms of Department of Justice. We also got Kevin Kiley's email, who's a congressman who went on about 10 investigations talking about what's going on in the state of California. And I sat there and was like, yeah, you just send him an email, tell him you want to be a whistleblower, provide this same information. And I watched him. And here's the thing, you're going to be like, well, how do you know you sent it, TK? I literally we sat there and I watched him send it. Now, it's probably going to be somebody from Kylie's staff that will see that. Hopefully they follow up. Don't get it twisted. I sent an email too, because I want them to definitely follow up, because some of the, I understand a lot of people, and I had somebody tell me this too today, who was an aide or whatever in Congress, was like, the California Area Resource Board, yeah, it's a lot of money, and yeah, and I was like, yeah, and they're trying to roll back emissions and do whatever with, the Clean Air Act and things of that nature, and stop California from regulating other states, right? You would think that's the case. But this aide, who happened to work for a Republican for a long time, was like, yeah, and this is the part that really hit me or kind of pissed me off, was, yeah, they say a lot of stuff that sounds good, but he said, do you notice any of those congressional review acts that deal with greenhouse gases? They haven't gone anywhere. They're sitting. They're waiting. And he goes, do you notice that the Stop CARB Act? He said, Mike Lee's a great guy. He said, but did you know that his Stop CARB Act is literally, it's going to have to ride in on the big, beautiful bill. He said Moreno came in, wanted to grandstand and talk about the Transportation Freedom Act, right? And I was like, I actually think Moreno is really on top of his stuff and really wants to do something. And this aide literally said, worked in D.C. for 15 years. All of these people are full of S. And I literally just was like, you just get deflated. I was like, but this information clearly looks shady and could involve a crime. And he goes, yep. He goes, and that's why I did the right thing in terms of directing this person and to provide this information to the Department of Justice. So, it'll be interesting because as this news comes out, because I know some people will probably pick up what we did, right? And especially if this U.S. attorney talks about it this week, which I think is probably going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see all the people at CARB that recently left for oil jobs or other things that lawyer up like the rest of the officials in California. It's been interesting. But anyways, I wanted to give you guys an update. I am going to follow through We're going to do probably like a StreamYard session where I actually bring this person on if they're given whistleblower protection and they're able to talk about the information that they provided. We should know that in very short order, by the way. And if I hear something back from the congressman from California's office, Kevin Kiley, and or if he responds back to the quote-unquote whistleblower from CARB, I will let you know. So stay tuned. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Was it worth the trip? I think it was. I think it was worth me going out there. Would I do it again? Maybe. Do I feel a little dejected after speaking to this like congressional aide, somebody that's, he's a lobbyist now, but somebody that's worked in Congress for a long time? Yeah, kind of sucks. But this could give some of this stuff some legs. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.